Hi, it's David Senna again. Thought I'd talk a little bit about my history, military history background. So I joined the Navy and I wanted to get education, and education is not cheap in America. College tuition is a lot. And even though I had a football scholarship opportunity I received in the mail, I wasn't really that much for football. I'm more into combat sports. And so I decided I wanted to serve my country, join the Navy, see the world, get money for education, possibly have a stable career. But once I got into it, I don't know, it just didn't fit with me, full-time active duty service. I did get to see the world, and I did get to have a lot of training that helped me. It broadened my horizons, as you could say. I got to do construction work. I got to be a cook. I got to be military police type security. I got to be on a carrier for a couple of years, launching and recovering aircraft. I got to see the world on the carrier. I got to patrol fence line in a military vehicle and on foot. I got to wear a regular bulletproof vest with then like an over bulletproof vest and carrying a rifle or a shotgun and then having my sidearm, my 9mm, the standard issue stuff. Um, Got OC sprayed in the face. That stuff is stronger than pepper spray. Going through the police academy for the military, it hurts and it's water activated. So after you flush your eyes out once, you you don't want to like reactivate it within the hour by I don't know, splashing your face again. Um, Went through like a pressure point training course. Never got to use the pressure point training ever because boxing and wrestling, in my opinion, is superior. And then when I learned Jeet Kune Do, I was like, this stuff, this stuff works. I can maybe incorporate it, but I don't see how yet. But everything has its uses. The more tools you have in your toolbox, the better you're at. So yeah, I got to talk to a lot of different people from a lot of different backgrounds and develop a strong work ethic. And the one thing that I was taught coming in as an E1 was the rank structure. Like everybody outranks you when you're an E1 because you're the very bottom. And once I started getting promoted E2, E3, E4, E5, I was like, okay, now even though I got all this like I don't know, would you say power? Responsibility goes with it. Like that's so cheesy with the Spider-Man line. With great power comes responsibility. It's so very true. And I had bad leaders and I had good leaders. And one thing that I learned is you can always learn from the good leaders, take the stuff that they do and repeat it, and then take the stuff that the bad people do and don't repeat it. And that's what I did. And I know once I made non-commissioned officer, I didn't want to repeat the same mistakes, but I kind of let the power go to my head when I first got promoted. And there's this person I gave specific orders to do something in a specific manner, and I asked him if he understood. He said, "Yeah, I understand." And then he messed up, and I was completely shocked. I knew that I would have to cover for this guy by taking the hit because I'm responsible for him. So anything that he does is my fault because I'm in charge. So my supervisor comes to me and he's like, "What's going on here?" And I'm like, "Well, I told so and so to do it this specific way that you told me to do it, and they didn't do it." And they go, "Well, it's not his fault; it's your fault." Right? So I went back and I did the work myself. That's just the way life goes sometimes. So they were like instilled in me that the mission comes first, and you do what you got to do. You got to adapt and overcome to make stuff happen. And that's a philosophy that I try to incorporate in my daily life, and no matter what I'm doing. Um, but I do, make time for family and friends and stuff that's important. If work is, we're kind of disposable because there's always going to be people being born into this world and people who are going to be wanting jobs, and someday we're going to retire and they're going to take over. I've been through a lot of retirement ceremonies for the military, and it's a special event. Sending people off farewell to enjoy their time that they have, and sure enough, there's always somebody ready to take their spot. You know. But anyways, I got to do a lot of cool stuff. Roommates with like Marines and military dog training guy. That was pretty cool. He uh, he deployed and he came back with a brand new Camaro, and I got to drive it to like Walmart off the base because everything was closed on the base, the military post. And it was my first time driving standard. I think I was like 19 at the time. It was so fun. Uh, Crazy just thinking about it. And then the people who I was talking to, they're like, "Oh yeah, once you get deployed, everything will change," and it did. Having to use calling cards at the time to call home, that was different. Lining up at the computers to take turns to like email home. It wears down on a person, and then the daily struggles of people take their job super seriously, and it is a super serious job. When mistakes happen, sometimes that causes injuries or worse. So the stress level is super high, and I got yelled at a lot, and I learned from my mistakes. And sometimes they threaten to take my rank away. They're like, either you learn or we'll demote you and we'll find somebody else who can do your job. And I was like, whoa, these guys are super serious about this. Like, okay, like I'm doing my best here, and I always ask questions. And oh man, I discovered it's just easier when you're in charge to show people what you want them to do, give them the tools to do it, and be very specific on what the requirements are. And when the orders are coming down from higher up, I was always, with a pen and a pad, writing stuff down and asking them questions on, how exactly they want me to do this, because there's always more than one way to solve a problem. And I like to think outside the box, but the educational system in the military is like, it has to be done this way, and there are reasons why we do it this way. So I'm like, okay, I understand. So that is a little bit about my Navy history, and I can talk about my Army history in another vlog. So I hope everybody does well. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.